Inspired Education is an independent school group. We own 120 schools in, I think, 27 countries at the moment. It keeps expanding, so it's difficult to keep track. So basically what we do is we offer premium education to children on all continents, and we've been doing that for the last 11 years.
I look after our global stack, so I work with iSAMS very closely on deciding which modules we are going to be including into our stack. I collaborate with the product team and commercial team to understand the best way to do that with our schools.
I oversee the implementation and the global rollout of a number of projects and programs coming out of the IT portfolio, primarily of which is I oversee the iSAMS rollout, or the ongoing iSAMS rollout, because it's been in flight for some time now. And so that's with my team. I manage the global IT EdTech team, so with my team we act as the liaison between iSAMS and the schools, the newly acquired schools that we're implementing in.
iSAMS was instrumental in terms of helping us getting this standardization rolled out. They were able to, already at that time, 6-7 years ago, consolidate a variety of legacy platforms, a variety of curricula onto one platform to enable us to have a one-stop shop, regardless whether it's in APAC or in Africa or in the UK. It's the same software that we're using for school management.
The iSAMS, they have a few different APIs. So we have different use cases for each one of them. So for our integrations, we pretty much use the batch APIs to maintain, making sure all our partners are working on the same data set when it comes to parents and students and teachers. For some of those functions, we use the traditional REST APIs that they have, but we are also working very close with them with a new set of APIs that are related to the portals. And working towards the headless journey with them, so we can create our own interfaces and interactions with parents by using their portal APIs. So we are very excited to be part of this new journey with iSAMS, and we are pretty much the first group doing that and using those APIs at scale.
The training is typically carried out in 2 phases, as is actually the implementation itself. So we engage with the iSAMS training team quite early on. And the first part of the training is focused around the core teams within the schools or the local regional teams. So we're looking at training admin, administrative staff, admissions, IT, and where possible we would try and identify champions within the schools, someone who's going to be that iSAMS primary contact for the local teams. So the first phase of the training is quite intensive. It's usually sort of 5 days. It's a 5-day worth in the core modules. This is then followed up further along the delivery path with the wider training of the general staff teachers, etc.
So we have an executive team that work with us in iSAMS. So we have I have fortnightly catch-ups and checkpoints with our account manager. Then we have within each region, they have their own partners, but depending on the requirements, we have a central oversight. So everything needs to be, the schools, they can initiate processes, but iSAMS makes sure that the approvals goes through the workflow and they end up with me or Adam, my peer, that we go and approve that before anything is implemented. We also have weekly reviews with the product team, and we work very closely on the definition of how can we improve service level and service availability. So one of the very important things that we've been doing together is really making sure that we look at latency and service availability in some of our regions that are new to iSAMS, let's say, and we've been collaborating with the DevOps teams as well to make sure that we strengthen that partnership.
There's always going to be regional or national variations or certain considerations that we need to take into account, and so it's that flexibility as well to address those. But in many cases, the team know exactly how Inspired wants iSAMS to be implemented, how we work. They're aware of the dependencies that we must consider, and certainly some of the other platforms and integrations that we also must take into account.
We obviously already had iSAMS as part of our core package in our physical schools. So we had an important decision to take what to do about the online schools. Were we to separate them from brick and mortar or keep them on the same platform? Lots of discussion going on years ago, and we decided to, after meetings with iSAMS, we decided to consolidate and have a shared platform for this. iSAMS was part of that shared platform, and what happened was iSAMS was not built for online schooling at the time. So we had a partnership with iSAMS at the time, and they helped us get their software in functional state so we could use it for our online purposes. What happened then was we later decided to build on those experiences and roll out some of the software also to our physical schools, and thereby bridging the learnings from online schooling and also roll it out to physical schools.
Well, Kings Inter High was my first engagement with iSAMS when I joined the company, and obviously being a purely online school, it has its own considerations and complications, which, working with the team, we did manage to negotiate successfully, of course, because we're up and we're live and we've got I forget how many thousand students operating on that system now. I think, for me it was, and for iSAMS, there was a learning curve in there that we all had to pick up on very, very quickly. For me, my involvement on the Kings Inter High was actually getting it set up, getting it implemented, and obviously adapting it or working with the iSAMS team to ensure that it met the needs, the criteria for a purely online school, because I don't think that's not the natural state of the product.
Hybrid learning is becoming more important post-pandemic, and this puts a high demand on the school IT systems, needing to support more flexible learning models. Parents are requiring more flexibility, and parents also demand more insight into the learning journey of the child. They would like to see how the child is progressing, not just on a terminal report, but week by week, day by day. How did we do? How can we support? How are we tracking? How are we benchmarking? And we see that this is going to be very important in terms of helping the children get the best possible education going forward.
We work often to some very tight deadlines and some very definite deadlines. As a school will open, and it must open. So we don't have the benefit of being able to bend and flex with when things must be done by. We also have to manage the dependencies with, as I said, other areas of the business, other platforms that are dependent upon iSAMS, and iSAMS being the core MIS in the stack that we roll out.
When we really need things to be resolved, we have the right escalation paths for those things to be resolved. So we've been working with iSAMS for long enough and with IRIS for long enough. They understand that we do have a strong service desk team internally. So we don't usually use them for level 1 support. We have our internal level and level 2 support. We get them on level 3. Then we have level 4 internally, and then we go for them with level 5. When we do get to level 5, they are very responsive, because they know that if we are reaching out and that we need support, it really needs support.
I think for us, it's working with those teams, and they understand the urgency in some cases in resolving any outstanding issues or bugs. And I think to that area, that's where most of my attention is focused, certainly in the early part of this. And then later on, ensuring that all the readiness activities, all the dependencies and things that we need to be able to go live with this school are in place. And this is something, as I said before, that having worked with them now for nearly 3 years, and obviously having rolled this out to a large number of schools, it's something that is working well.
It's a constant evolution. Nobody will ever say service support is perfect, because it never is, but we've been working very, very closely together to make sure we are serving our schools the best that we can, and they've been a good partner in that journey.
In essence, when we're rolling out to a new school, we're affecting change within that school, and quite substantial change in some areas. So we have to be very cognizant of how that impacts the local teams, teachers, local staff, whether it be IT staff, admin staff or whomever. We work very closely with the team. My team especially as being the primary liaisons with the school and between the school and iSAMS. And it is just a case of, we have to take them on that journey through the training, through the adoption of whichever modules that school are adopting. And it's not something that ends at go live. This is something that we monitor, we maintain, certainly through my team, to ensure that the modules, the systems are being used not only as we need them to be used, but also that in a way that is benefiting the school. And that's what it's all about for us. It's making sure that the implementation has gone smoothly, and in life it continues to operate in the same way.